The welcome party. For those of you that don't know or weren't here yesterday, I'm Errol, and I'll be your host. This is my NADA Live living room, so I want you guys to be encouraged to make yourselves comfortable. If your feet don't stink, feel free to kick your shoes off. If your feet do stink, please keep them on, just for the sake of all of us. One thing that you have to know about me is that I love telling dad jokes. And every now and again, he laughs. So it really works out great. So one of the things that we're going to be doing while we're here and spending time is I'm going to be helping to make sure that you guys have fun, but also make sure that you have all the information that you need. So a couple key things that we always talk about, of course, is first and foremost making sure that you have the NADA mobile app downloaded. That's a great tool and resource that's going to help you in navigating over the 650,000 square feet of activities that we have going. So you want to make sure that you have that downloaded. If you have specific questions of NADA, well, then you can also see us in the NADA Pavilion, which when you go into the West Hall, it's going to be there to your left. You can't miss it. Has an orange round banner up top. So you can make sure that if you have specific questions, you can get those answered. If you have questions about electrification, well, we've got that covered too. Over in the North Hall, we have our electrification section. And actually, if you take the skywalk that's up here, you'll get in a little bit of an electrification history. It's a great look back at how electrification started. Goes all the way back to the early 1900s, and we'll really give you some insight about where electrification has started and where it's also going. There's also a really cool DeLorean that's all electrified up there as well, so make sure you check that out. But also, one of the things that you guys can see, the NADA, I put that slide up there, so you should see where I talked about the NAD Pavilion. That is actually in booth 2101 West. So like I said, when you go into the West entrance, just go there to your left and you'll be able to see that. And then the EV Solution Center that I just mentioned, that is over in the North Hall, and that is booth 6857 North, and that's the EV Solution Center, all right? So we are going to continue moving forward. To give you guys an idea, as we said, our next presentation is going to start in roughly about 7 minutes. It's going to be talking about diversity, but in the meantime, you guys can feel free, sit tight, enjoy yourself. If you have questions, I'll be here to answer some of your questions. If they're hard questions, I'll point you in the right direction for somebody else to answer them. How about that? All right, guys. If you need anything, let me know. But other than that, sit tight, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Today is Friday, March 11th, and it's day 2 of NADA Show 2022 in Las Vegas. We've got a big day planned. The expo opens at 8:30 this morning. Join us in the Grand Concourse at the Convention Center for the ribbon cutting and tour the expo hall with us. This is where business gets done. You can experience all the latest tech and tools, as well as chat with vendors about their products and services. And you won't want to miss what's happening at the NADA Live Stage right outside the expo entrance. Live Stage features industry experts and guests sharing their insights and experience on topics as diverse as digital marketing, women in the industry, electric vehicles, and much, much more throughout the weekend. Our educational sessions kick into high gear today. Workshops, exchange sessions, and the Distinguished Speaker Series all begin at 10:30 this morning. Dealer franchise meetings also start at 9 this morning. We've also got the all-new Dealer Learning Lab running on the expo floor from 9 to 4:30 all weekend. These are 20-minute TED-style talks from presenters in a casual setting on the expo floor. Take advantage of this opportunity to engage, discover, and connect with industry leaders on a variety of hot topics. Be sure to join us at 2:30 for the opening general session, where we will hear from Dana Perino, former White House press secretary. We'll also take a look at the state of the industry with 2021 NADA Chairman Paul Walzer as he takes a look back on the past year. That's what's happening today at NADA Show 2022. For details on times and topics, check the NADA Show app or consult the online schedule at nadashow.org. Now here's a look at how NADA works for dealers throughout the year.
There's a lot of noise out there about auto dealers, and they're not excited about selling electric vehicles. They don't want to sell electric vehicles. And today that couldn't be further from the truth. The dealers I've talked to, and I talk to a lot in my position, they're excited about the future. They're excited about electric vehicles. They've made the investments and they're ready to go. Franchise dealers, they're making big investments in the future of selling EVs. We're a part of the solution. We're essential to rolling out electric vehicles to the mass market. So sure, we've heard the narrative that there's going to be less in terms of service opportunity for dealers. I'm not so sure that's true. You look at body work, at windshield repair, batteries. There are going to be new opportunities that present themselves from the electrification of the fleet. And again, that's going to happen over time. Well, I think the folks out there that might have an agenda that would be contrary to what we believe in, which is the franchise dealers are essential to the mass adoption of electric vehicles, I can only think of one of two reasons. Number one, they're completely misinformed, or number two, their agenda is to profit from going outside of the dealer network. And you know, that sounds good when you say it real fast, but the dealers provide an incredible benefit to consumers, to car companies, and really to the overall economy. Those investments need to be made regardless. Investments in real estate, in people, in tools, in storage facilities, in charging infrastructure. All of those investments need to be made regardless of a franchise dealer. There's 17,000 franchise dealers waiting to sell electric vehicles, excited about selling electric vehicles to the buying public. I would like the industry to know. I'd like our government to know. I'd like for our population here in the United States to know that we are for electrification. We want to be part of the solution. Dealers are here to help, but it's important that we have a seat at the table, that our car companies are talking with us about the future, that the government, they're listening to us about the future, because we have a unique perspective. We're on the front lines with the customers every single day. Collectively, we're going to be much better off if we listen to each other, we collaborate, and find solutions together.
All right, guys, as I promised, we are back, and so we're going to continue moving forward, and I would like to welcome up some of our panelists. First, let me tell you what we're going to be talking about. So we are going to be talking about workforce diversity. So this is going to be our workforce diversity announcement, and right now I would like to welcome up a few people. First, I will start with Paul Walzer. So Paul, I'd like to welcome Paul up to the stage. Come on up, Paul. Then from there, and wait. Round of applause. You got, there you go. There you go. You guys are in the living room. You've got to follow house rules, right? All right, we're going to try that again, Paul. Wait. You ready? All right, you guys know what to do now. So I'm going to announce him again, where I'd like to bring up Paul Walzner. From there, we're going to follow that with Don Cravens. Don Cravens, who is the EVP and COO of the National Urban League. All right, keep those around about. There you go. Then I'd like to welcome up Bob Lanham, who is our head of automotive retail and sales strategy and industry relations for Meta, which is used to known as Facebook. All right. All right, no problem. And then I'd like to bring up Myra Dandridge as well, who is our NADA Executive Director, External Affairs and Public Policy. And last, I'd like to bring up Annette as well. Annette Sakura. Look at that. Sakura, who is our NADA Foundation Chairwoman. And do you need the clicker? Okay. Okay, just making sure.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is good. And welcome to our live stage event. I am Myra Dandridge, and I am the Executive Director of External Affairs and Public Policy at NADA. So it's great seeing all of you this morning. Thank you for joining us. So, as many of you know, we have been working diligently on a program to grow and diversify our workforce to include more women and minorities. So to that end, I am super excited that we have partnered with the National Urban League on a workforce development initiative that will train and hire more diverse workers. There are two components to this program. The first is a technician apprenticeship program, and the second is a dealership internship program. And each of those programs are designed, again, to train and hire women and minorities to come into the retail industry, the franchised auto industry, excuse me. So we are super excited about this initiative and the possibilities that it's going to bring to franchise dealerships. So without further hesitation, I am going to ask Paul Walzer, who's the NADA chairman, to come up and make a few remarks.
I've been in this role for just a little bit over a year, and this might be the most exciting moment for me during the whole time. A year ago, in my incoming speech, I addressed the idea that this diversity and inclusion initiative needs to be a priority for NADA. And for a few months, I was kind of going, gosh, we're not making enough progress. And then all of a sudden, we started the communication with the National Urban League, and things started to pick up some momentum. And this is something that can change our industry in a material way. And Myra, thank you for your incredible work on this. Myra had the unfortunate circumstance of joining NADA literally like a week before COVID. And so her first 2 years with us, she wasn't able to be in touch person to person with the people that she wanted to connect with. And so she did a remarkable job of navigating those times. And then, of course, as the COVID thing has died down a bit, she's just been going 100%. So this is really, really exciting, because the most important thing about this is not just a moral priority. This is an initiative that's good for dealers. If we can change the face of this industry, if we can be recognized as a industry that does a great work in terms of both gender and minority racial diversity, it's going to make us look good. It's going to make us better. And diverse teams work better together. They get better results. So there's just a lot of pluses to this. I'm really excited to see where this goes. It's in the early stages, but the National Urban League is a big organization. They're in 36 different states, and dealers are everywhere, so this is a natural fit. And I just think the potential of this thing is going to be absolutely fabulous. And once again, Myra, thank you for your incredible work here. And I look forward to working with her going forward and seeing where we can go. So thank you very, very much.
So next up is Don Cravens, and Don is the Chief Operating Officer of the Urban League. So he's going to make a couple of remarks to tell us how this partnership is going to work from his end. Don?
Thank you, Myra. Good morning, everyone. As Myra said, my name is Don Cravens, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for the National Urban League. As Paul said, the National Urban League, we're in a lot of places. We are the nation's oldest and largest civil rights organization and community service organization. We're in 36 states, including the District of Columbia. And at all of our affiliates, at our 90 affiliates, we work with people like you, with dealers, with small businesses who want to provide the four basic, or make accessible the four basic necessities that all Americans want for their families. They want a place they can send their kids to school. They want a place they can go to when they're sick. They want a place to live, and they want a good job. And what makes us the perfect marriage is that you have a need with some good jobs, and we're gonna find you some good people who are looking for those jobs. And so this is gonna be, as Paul said, not only good for you because it's the moral good thing to do, it's gonna be good for you and for the people we serve because it's gonna be good for business. It's gonna be good for creating middle-class opportunities for so many of our Americans who we want to get to that. A stronger America is good for all of us. And so the National Urban League is proud. I'm proud on behalf of my boss, Mark Morial, the former mayor of New Orleans who gets this, who sends his greetings. I'm proud on behalf of the 92 affiliates just to be a part of that. As Myra said, the partnership's gonna have apprenticeship programs. We're gonna help you find good men and women for those programs. This partnership is gonna be a collaboration on internships. We're gonna help you find the type of young people who can help you run your dealership someday and maybe have their own dealership. And then we're gonna just work on some good old, just how do we make our country stronger? Diverse by being a more diverse workforce, a more inclusive workforce, and a more equitable place. That is what the National Urban League is dedicated to doing. We are very excited about this partnership. And what I'll tell you is what you are doing today says a lot about the character of the men and women of this organization. And so I want to thank Myra, who has been a strong working partner. I want to thank her leadership. I want to thank, obviously, Paul and Annette. I'm looking forward to working with the next Mike, the next chairman. But I also want to thank the current president, Mike and Stanton, for his leadership and his team. I have not worked with better people. I have just simply not worked with better people, and it's an honor. So thank you all very much. Looking forward to working with you. And if you're excited and you want to be part of it, stop me. I'll give you my business card, and we'll talk about how we can make this partnership good for all of our people. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Oh my God, what an awesome endorsement. Thank you so much, Don. So I have the privilege also of introducing Annette Sakura, and Annette is the head of our foundation. She's gonna come up and make a couple of remarks about the foundation and how committed our foundation is to this development as well. Annette?
Thank you so much, Myra. You know, well, you follow Paul Walser and then Don Cravens. Wow. But just let me add my enthusiastic support of our collaboration with the National Urban League. We are committed to grow the number of women and minorities to consider the dynamic opportunities in automobile retail industry. Now, we know that a strong workforce is the backbone of our nation's economy. And we know for sure that our workforce, should keep pace with the ever-changing look of our communities where the dealerships are located. The NADA Foundation promotes workforce development and believes that investing in people builds a community where everyone is valued and supported. And to that end, we are ready to lean in with NUL. And a mission that's going to jumpstart this and hire diverse candidates interested in jumpstarting their auto career. Finally, it's important that all employees, particularly women and other underrepresented groups, have the unique resources that they need to have access to these opportunities. One of these resources is training, and that's the bedrock of this program. Again, I am enthusiastic about this collaboration, and I know this is great for our industry and great for our foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. And this concludes our portion of the live stage. I'm wondering if anyone has any questions. Perhaps Jonathan? I don't think. Exactly. So the question is, do I visualize this workforce development partnership as a one and done? And that's absolutely not the case. This is not a one and done. We are developing a relationship with the Urban League for many, many years, and we are hoping to grow the Workforce Development Initiative out to different states, not just in the state that we're doing the pilot program. Are there any other questions for me or perhaps anyone standing on stage? Thank you.
So before you guys head off, of course, I know that the audience didn't have questions, but there's things that they want to know, right? And so we'll take a little bit of time, and what I'll let you guys do is come to the podium and I'll ask some key questions, right? That's all fun for everybody. So some of the things that we discussed yesterday was obviously some of the plans that the NADA already has in place with education. And from what I'm hearing with the partnership, this is going to pair up great, because we talked about the education escalator as an example yesterday and how that can be crucial. But we also discussed certain things like finding the right technician and then keeping the right technician. So I guess my first question would be, and anyone can answer this, how do you feel that some of the segments that are taking place over the next few days will be crucial for our dealers in learning strategies to maybe find people that maybe don't have a strong automotive background, but have that gumption and really want to, start a new career or be able to work hard?
I'll say a word and you can too. One of the first things you can do is go to the NADAfoundation.org, where you can see a lot of the programs. And this is a great resource for all dealers, especially if you're out at a community event or where you're talking to students. These are resources available to you to show students what careers are available to them in our dealerships.
Yeah, I would add that, it's one thing to be effective at attracting people into our industry. It's a whole other thing to retain them. And this is no different than any other initiative. We have a duty to make sure that our team members are provided with the training necessary to succeed. And so we have to do a great job of recruiting and bringing people in, and we have to do an equally good job of providing them the tools and resources necessary for this to be a sustainable long-term effort. So that's what NADA is working to provide.
Fantastic. And Don, this next question is directly for you, because one of the things that you mentioned is, I believe you said it's 36 states currently, and obviously that's looking to expand and grow. So for those 36 states, if someone's interested, how do they find out, hey, are you guys involved in my state? Or if you're not involved in my state, how then can they work to get more traction in their state?
So the Urban League is in 36 states, including the District of Columbia. And what I would say is anyone who is looking for a job, or any of the dealers who are looking for a community partner, I stand by that. I think our urban leagues in those 36 communities are some of the best community partners you could have. And that's why I think the national NADA chose the Urban League to be that national partner to help build this national model that we hope can be duplicated. I heard one of the NADA representatives say yesterday, we're going to build a recipe. We're going to build a recipe that we hope we can share with other states. But even right now, if there's a dealer in a community, in an urban community, and he or she wants to partner with a community organization to help find talent, as Paul said, to recruit, I would say turn to organizations like your Urban League in your community and let us be that partner to help you do that part. We need you to do the training. You're the expert on the automobile part. We think we're the expert when it comes to finding people in sometimes hard to reach places and hard to reach situations.
That's great. I appreciate that. And then, Paul, to follow up with that question for you, so as the programs grow, because a lot of what we hear is that from a consumer standpoint, they want to go into a storefront or a rooftop and feel welcome, and they want to come back to that storefront or rooftop, right? And so with the education pieces, we talked about there being the monthly subscription that dealers can do for their staff to educate. How far out are we going to go with specific planning or maybe courses that also are going to speak to these direct communities or some of these partnerships? Do you see that there's going to be maybe courses that maybe can combine both of what NADA has to offer and then also what the Urban League has to offer? So kind of maybe some of these hybrid courses that tie in and create the best of both worlds.
Well, I would say, first of all, that this program is in its very early stages. So I think a lot of these, it's a very good question, but a lot of this needs to be fleshed out as we move forward. I think we're lined up and locked in on what we're trying to accomplish. I think the commitment is there on both sides to advance this thing. But some of the things you're asking, I think it's just going to require some time for us to really understand, which levers to pull and how to make sure that this thing is successful.
And you know what, that's great, because that was one of the main things that we talked about for anybody that was here yesterday, especially coming out of post-pandemic, right? We talked about a lot of seeing how dealers were able to adapt, how they embraced the change of what the environment and the circumstances were doing, but more so how we just figured it out, And so having it, with it being in its infancy stages, what that does is it shows with all of you here that there's that sense of, hey, let's figure this out. Let's be solution-minded and solution-based, so that way moving forward, we can create the recipe and have some of these great things in place and in play. So for everyone out there, is there any other additional questions that maybe we didn't cover, or things that maybe you want to know? And also what I encourage is, if you do want to get involved, kind of as we mentioned, there's a lot of information on the NADA website, so seek out that information. You can also check us out in the NADA Pavilion, which is just right inside the West Hall there. You can go to your left and you'll be able to see that easily. But make sure that you get involved, inform yourself, ask questions. I challenged everyone yesterday, and so I'll give you guys the same charge and challenge. One thing you'll notice is that everybody's wearing a name badge. Not me, because I have a mic on, so don't exclude me, all right? But everybody's wearing a name badge, and so what I challenge you is, go introduce yourself to someone that you did not know or have not met. That's how a lot of these things are going to be successful. It is us having conversations that maybe we're not comfortable with, or maybe we're not used to, but in having those conversations, we find progress, we find solutions, and a lot of times we're going to find a lot of similarities of what we're all looking to accomplish. So thank you guys once again. I appreciate your time. And again, if you guys have any questions for them, please, I'm sure they'll be around for a moment. But if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. But other than that, enjoy your time here in the NADA Live living room. My pleasure. My pleasure.